Hey, gang, it's Patrick. Did you know that September 8th of 1973 was a Saturday? I did. I was 7 and I could read TV Guide. And in 1973, we got Star Trek, the animated series. My body slowly disappears into my virtual background. But that's not why I'm here. I just think it's cool. Yesterday was the 50th anniversary of Star Trek, the animated series. Now, I'm not a big guy for surprises. I'm really not. I don't like them usually. Yesterday, however, was a good one. Because yesterday we got this. And if you looked at the thumbnail, it's no surprise. We got the almost face. We got the animated series supplement for Star Trek Adventures. I think that's what we're here to discuss today, because there are a few people on the planet who loved the animated series as much as I did. So let's take a look at this bad boy, shall we? Here we are. One of the things I love about this supplement, by the way, hey, a significant portion of the art, to include this cover that we're looking at right now, is new art. It's not clipped from the show. And I'm going to tell you right now how it is that came to be. Yeah, right here. Aaron Harvey. Probably the only guy on the planet who loves TAS more than I do. And I was so glad to see his name among the credits. If you don't know who Aaron Harvey is, Aaron Harvey co-wrote this book right here. This big chunky orange thing, the official guide to the animated series. It came out in 2019. It's still in print. You can get your own copy. Aaron, he is primarily responsible. This thing is 69 pages. You know, you've got a cover, you got credits and contents, you got probably 60 or 64 pages are gaming information. This is a solid supplement. It's PDF only. You can get it right now on DriveThru or the Modiphius stores, either modiphius.us or modiphius.net. Aaron, of course, did the foreword. Most of the new art in this book is by Aaron. He is by nature a graphics designer, but he is the lead writer on most of this book. I mean, Jim, Fred, and Aaron Pollier are no slouches, but I was so glad to see Aaron Harvey involved in this book, because I knew it was going to kind of elevate things. And considering some of the other people we have working on STA, elevating it is a chore sometimes. But we've got our main characters, Captain Kirk. Now these are, well, there are some things that are based on the original series crew pack that was put out, 6 years ago now. They start there, but these are not the same exact character write-ups that appear in that crew pack. But you got Captain Kirk, of course. Mr. Spock, Dr. McCoy, Scotty, Sulu, Lieutenant Uhura, Chapel. The two new characters that were actually introduced in TAS, I don't think they've been represented in a Star Trek game since the FASA days. And I'm not 100% sure they got represented in FASA. I can't remember. I know the Adosians and the Cations were both playable species in the FASA game, but I don't know if these characters were ever written up. This may be the first time they've ever been written up in a game anywhere on an official basis. Then you got a lot of NPCs. Then we get some of the fun stuff because, well, it was animated. They got to do all sorts of neat, weird things on the animated series. So you've got several planets. That will show up. Then we get to what some people consider the meat of things. I think it's pretty cool too. Life path options. In this case, there are 5 brand new species that have never been completely written up for Star Trek Adventures. You got Aquans. Aurelians originally appeared in the Alpha Quadrant book, included here for the sake of completeness. Cations, likewise, I love this art. All this new individual character art that Aaron did. I think this Cation guy here in the corner is my favorite. I want to tell this guy's story at some point. If Aaron hasn't already written up somewhere, I want to do something with this guy. Adosians, likewise appearing in the Alpha Quadrant book. The Kzinti, hinted at in the Lower Decks book. Fully written up, fully playable species here. Attribute bonuses listed in this book supersede the ones that appear in Lower Decks. Lower Decks is a typo. That's according to Jim Johnson, our the head honcho for Star Trek Adventures. But also according to Jim Johnson, if the stat bonuses in Lower Decks work for you better, use them. We're not going to come beat down your door because of how you choose to play a particular character species. Pandronians, originally from animated series, they also showed up in a recent episode of Lower Decks. Phylosians, and I love the fact that not only did they include the Aurelians earlier, they include the score here, showing the subtle differences, where they split apart, how they reunified. Not, as it turns out, unlike the Romulan Vulcan division all those centuries ago and their eventual reunification. But you got score. You want to play a big old plant, you can do it now. This is one of my favorite things, is just the weird array of species that you now have available. Some of the fun stuff that appeared in the animated, including these life support belts, which apparently did not work out real well. Fancy Star Trek binoculars, the ill-fated automated bridge defense system. And you got all these funky spatial phenomena that you could really only get away with in an animated show because they just did not have the budget in 1966. And starships. The Enterprise, as she appeared in TAS. But you've also got the Aqua Shuttle. You've got that silly inflatable starship decoy. The Stormbird variant on the Romulans used, their version of the D7. The Divisor. This, incidentally, the Stormbird, that's not a static out starship. That's a space frame. That's a space frame that you can use in your own games. You got Kazinti police craft. You got Kukulkan's starship, one of the more interesting episodes of the animated series. Another little space frame. It's a small craft, or an Orion space frame, if you need one of those. Then you got your usual suspects in with NPCs. Giant Spock, a Vendorian. Lucian. And you got critters. You got Capellum Power Cats. You got Pink Tribbles. Salots, the Machas, Glommers. This was cut and paste from the Klingon book, but it's about the only thing that was really copied and pasted that I know of. Everything else is pretty much written from scratch, or at least adapted from existing things. Salots. And then you got a short index. But that's 64 pages of content, plus you got some of your end matter. This was a fantastic little surprise that I discovered. I was super happy to see this. I was happy to find out that Aaron Harvey was involved, because I don't think the animated series gets anything resembling the love that it deserves. It's often underappreciated, written off as a kids show, and everybody who says that, I don't think they've actually been watching it. A lot of these stories are just really strong Star Trek. Even the weaker episodes were better than a lot of what you're going to find on typical Saturday morning TV. But you have episodes like Yesteryear, leading with the concept of, "Hi, you're a 7-year-old kid. We need to euthanize your pet." Or having Uhura take command of the Enterprise when the men on the ship are incapacitated. Things of that nature. There are a lot of good Trek stories, some of which they could never have done live action because the effects would have been prohibitively expensive. Does the TAS supplemental guide have everything? No. It doesn't. But it's got a ton, and it is one of those things that I've kind of wanted as we went along, but didn't think we'd ever actually get. So I'm going to give it a 9.5 out of 10. The only reason it's missing half is there were no mission briefs, which kind of surprised me because I mean that's Jim's big thing is mission briefs. But if that's the only fault I can really find in it, I'm okay. I'm good with it because it's just a really solid supplement. It's a love letter to the animated series. It's it shows that it wasn't just a kids show. I mean, you've got to read some of the things in here, but it was just Star Trek. The only thing it had going different for it was a half-hour animated format. But I like it. I'm happy it's there. I'm going to make all sorts of use of it. I might wind up using some of it in my Captain's Log actual play, which I'll be getting back to shortly. In the meantime, guys, thank you so much for stopping by. Hope you enjoyed this. Give it a like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, tell your friends, and I will catch you in the next one. Live long and prosper.